Is everybody kind of at least basically familiar with Facebook ads? Yeah? Have you guys dived in and kind of checked it out and used it a few times? No? It's okay. This is, yes, John. Nice to meet you. No problem. It's a really cool tool, free tool that anybody can basically jump in and you can pinpoint your consumer within 5 or 10 minutes, right? You can do it with your email list, with general targeting on comparable pages and more content like that. So I'm gonna break it in. We're actually gonna do a deep dive into that. We have about, how much time do we have, Ruth? About
45 minutes.
45 minutes, perfect. So the presentation will be maybe 20, 25, depending on how many questions you guys have, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A, so you can ask anything about marketing that you want to know. Marketing, web development, app development, we pretty much do it all. So I'm gonna wait a few seconds, let everybody get settled in. The food smells amazing, and we'll get it started. So let me go ahead and make sure this is set up good. All right, got the clip going. Okay. So just a little bit about me. I'll kind of break it down. I have 8+ years of experience with marketing strategy. I worked at an agency. I did a few internships in my early 20s. I'm 31 now, as you can tell by the bald head. But I've worked with clients like the NAACP, Audi, and Range Rover. I was at an agency for about 4.5 years, and then I branched out on my own about 3 years ago and started 5-4 Digital. We do everything under the marketing gamut. That's website development, SEO, social media, but we have a huge affinity towards Facebook ads just because of the power that it can bring. I'm also an avid traveler and a hot sauce connoisseur. I collect hot sauces. I don't know if you guys have heard of like the Pocky Challenge with the chip, the one chip challenge. No? No one's heard of it yet? Okay, well it's a one chip that's it's heated with Carolina Reaper, which is the hottest pepper in the world. And you basically have to eat this one chip and record yourself for their social media. And what happens is they basically vote on it and you can win like free prizes and stuff, but essentially it's like super hot, right? And I'm also a minimalist. I try to live a very simple life, very stay active, but at the same time not worry about the material, more experiences, right? So that's a little bit about me and some of the places I've contributed to. Actually, after this, if you guys want access to our online course, if you're into website development or you're building a business, we'll give you free lifetime access to the course. It's a paid course, but everybody in this room will get a free access. Just notify me after and let me know. We have about 1,900 students currently. Let's see. You guys can follow me on social media at John D. Saunders or 5-4 Digital. So let's break into it, right? So raise your hand if you're familiar with Facebook ads. Okay, great, good numbers. So we're gonna talk about a little bit about what Audience Insights is and what it can do for you and your business. Is anybody in here an entrepreneur, have maybe an e-commerce store, a side hustle, any type of business that they're working on, maybe now or in the future?
Future.
Okay, there we go. So you'll be able to use this for your career, your jobs, any businesses that you want to open in the future. This is a really, really cool tool that you can use. And of course, it's absolutely free. We'll also talk about the Facebook Pixel, which is a little piece of code that you can really do some big things for your website, right? And then we'll also talk about how to target your ideal audience using Audience Insights and the different ways it can be done. A few of our favorite campaigns, we'll go over a couple of our projects, and lastly, we'll open it up for questions and answers about anything in marketing that you guys want to know. And so, a satisfied customer is the best business strategy of all, right? If you have a happy customer, they can become an advocate for your business, they can become a brand ambassador, they can really become that person that goes out and gets you business. So today's goal is to provide actionable tips for finding your ideal consumer and targeting them with pinpoint accuracy. Oh yeah, I forgot I can use my clicker. I like this. So what is Audience Insights? Audience Insights looks at trends about your current or potential customers across Facebook. So this is, get my head out there, this is the screen right here of what Audience Insights looks, and that's essentially the entire Facebook database. So you can see 150 million to about 200 million monthly active people, right? Those are all of the people actively using Facebook currently, and it has the breakdown. So we can look at Facebook generally, right? 54% of Facebook is women, 46% is men. And then the biggest demographics are millennials, right? 25 to 34, and then we have 18 to 24 and 35 to 44. So at an overview, you can tell exactly who's on Facebook at any given time. And the way Facebook, best of all, this tool is totally free. You don't have to pay any money. You just have to set up a Facebook ad account, which is totally free. You don't even have to put your credit card in to be able to pull all this data. So it can help you improve your overall marketing strategy, help you create buyer personas, and really, really leverage all this data that Facebook has on us. I mean, it's insane how many data points they have. So I also wanted to break down and kind of give you guys an understanding of the 2 ways that Facebook collects all this data. So number 1, self-reported Facebook data. So everything that you do on Facebook, like I'll create an instance. You ever been on Messenger, talk to a friend, and then a day later you see an ad for what you were discussing? Facebook has an aggregate of tons of data points where they create basically a buyer persona of you, right? So for me, they always serve me up with marketing ads, Game of Thrones stuff, comic book stuff, nerdy geek stuff, because that's what I'm into, right? So I'll see that content on a consistent basis. So essentially, we're gift wrapping all of our information and giving it to Facebook for free. That's why the account will never be paid, right? Because they're getting all this information absolutely free. And only about 5% of businesses on Facebook are leveraging Facebook ads. So it's insane. Secondly, they use third-party data partners. When I worked at the agency, we were an automotive agency, and there's a company called Polk. Their data integrates with Facebook, and they have tons of things like they know what car you're leasing, when you bought your car, when you sold your car, what kind of house you're living in, who you're married to, who your dog is. They know everything about us. And so those 2 ways they aggregate all this data is how they get all this information about who we are as individuals. So using insights is extremely easy to create a breakdown of your clientele, age and gender, lifestyle, relationship status, job title, all this info. So we're actually going to dive in real time because I want to show you guys how powerful this tool is. Before we do that though, I want to talk about the Facebook Pixel. Anyone know what the Facebook Pixel is? No? Okay, so let's say for example, I'm not a big sneaker guy, but there's these Nikes that just came out called the Vapor Max, right? So they're like these really cool Nike like running shoes. I went to the Nike store online and I was like, okay, let me check out these sneakers. I look at the sneakers, they're like 170. I'm like, okay, I'll wait a little bit and I'll buy these later. Right? I go on Facebook the next day, boom, now I see a video ad for the Vapor Max, right? I go to ESPN.com, now I see another ad for the Vapor Max. I go to Facebook again, now I'm seeing another ad, hey, you can save 15% on these Vapor Maxes. I'm like, just take it easy, can I live? What happens is when you visit Nike.com, a pixel drops on your browser. A pixel is a little piece of code that goes onto your browser where anywhere you go, Facebook can follow you. So it doesn't matter if you're off of Facebook, it doesn't matter if you're on Google, if you're on Yahoo, if you're on ESPN, that pixel is following you that whole way. So as a marketer, Nike's like, okay, since I have this data, let me go ahead and serve John this Vapor Max ad again on Facebook in a different way so he can be like, okay, I'm gonna just give in because I'm gonna see this ad for the rest of my life, right? So the Facebook Pixel is super easy to install on a website. It takes 2 seconds, and the data that you can get from it is amazing. You can reach the right people, right? So for example, with the Nike campaign, all they did was install that pixel. Now they're going and they're creating ads to be able to target those people. And the reason I'm talking about the pixel is because it's going to help us when we dive into this audience insights. And let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow, or if I'm boring you guys to death. I'm good? Okay. So you can also drive more sales with it ultimately, right? So the Facebook Pixel, it helps you make sure your ads are being shown to the right people. You can build advertising audiences, and you can unlock additional Facebook advertising tools. So, like I said, this is kind of the Nike example, right? You have the ad on Facebook that you see, right? And then you have the sales landing page, so that might be the Nike Vapor Max sneaker. And then the conversion, that's me buying the sneaker. And then I get a thank you page, right, with the pixel code. And then Facebook tells me, because of the ad that you created, this is the conversion that you had. So you can actually equate a person seeing that ad to making a purchase, and you have all that data that you can provide your clients or your business or whatever you're working on. All right, so how to target your ideal customer. Actually, we're going to dive in. Before we do, you can look at competitive Facebook pages. So Nike can look at the makeup of Reebok, Adidas, Kith, whatever brand that they want, right? You can also use your current email list. So let's say you're a real estate broker and you have 2,000 emails of your clients. You can take that list of your clients, put it on Facebook, and you can see exactly how many are men, how many are women, and the things that they like, right? So also, you can look at interests, like behavior, their education, where they work, right? And then we can look at the connections to other pages. So I know I'm getting you guys hyped. I'm gonna jump in right now, so we can check this out. So everyone on Facebook. Can you guys see that clearly? Yeah? Okay, so somebody shout out their favorite brand, for example.
Toys.
Tory Burch? Okay, I'm gonna try and spell that, so.
T-O-R-Y. Yep.
Tory Burch?
Yes.
Okay. Boom. So now we have all of the data points. As you can see, now you know why I didn't know what. So this is giving us all the data for people using Facebook. So these are people that have mentioned Tory Burch, that have talked about Tory Burch, that like the fan page, right? So 99% women. Would you do an ad for males if you were going after Tory Burch's demographics? No, right? I mean, 1%. That's crazy. That's actually, I've never seen anything that skewed. That's pretty insane. So women, 25 to 34 women is probably the top demographic, right? So if you're, it's Tory Burch, I'm assuming it's like an apparel brand? Yeah. So let's say you started your own female apparel brand, right? So you could say, well, I mean, you know you're gonna only target women, right? But we'll actually give you some more data points, right? So if I hit this, the type of people that buy Tory Burch are the wealthiest of all clusters. These families are enjoying the good life, luxury travel, entertainment, and consumption of every type of level. So that means you might say, okay, if this person likes Tory Burch, they might also like Saks Fifth Avenue, right? They might also like other brands that are in line with that. So if you're building an e-commerce store that's geared towards women that are affluent, you might be able to use this data to create your ads, right? So let's actually look at a little bit more details, right? 32% of those women are married. So for our Facebook ad, I'm thinking 25 to 34 women that are making maybe 70,000 or more, that are married, and that have 66% are college educated, right? And the types of jobs that they have are management. If you're going to be affluent, you're most likely going to have a management position, right? So this is just giving us tons and tons of data points that we can use to build our persona.
I'm sorry, stop right there. Did you just guess that 70,000 number, or did you see it somewhere?
No, so I know it just because of what the breakdown is, but you can target people that make 30,000, 40,000 and up. So 70 is usually counts as the more affluent, 60 to 70, and then as you go up, you can go and get the rest of them too. And yeah, if you guys have any questions as we go, feel free to yell it out and let me know, because this is very open discussion. I want to keep it nice and fun. So
thank you.
Oh, no worries. So now what this is the top categories of comparable pages, right? So if someone likes Tory Burch, they're also going to like Stitch Fix. I think they just went public also. Stitch Fix, I think they send you like a monthly subscription box, and you can either trade the clothes that you want for what you don't. Other brands, Kendra Scott, have you guys heard of that? David Yurman, yep, Pandora, Alex and Annie. So you can see that there are other brands that compare. So let's do another.
Why are some of those in red?
That's for a plugin that I have. So I have, it's a plugin that tells me, it'll basically drop it into an ad for me. So if I click it, it'll automatically add it to, it'll bring up the page and then add it to my Facebook ad account.
Was that the same for the demographics where you had the...
Exactly. So sorry about that, guys. I should have said that. And then I want to show you, also we can look at location, right? So if you're going to be targeting affluent people, of course, New York, right? That's the most densely populated place in the world. Well, not the world, but probably one of the most affluent, right? So then we look at Houston and Los Angeles and Dallas. So we can start, like, if we're doing a national campaign and we don't know where to focus our efforts, boom, now we have more information to be able to do that. Are there any other brands? I want to do a couple more before, so we can see some diversity. Any other brands that? Disney? That's a good one. That's a good one. They're actually one of the biggest brands on, let's see which one. We'll do the Walt Disney Company. Okay, there you go. All right, so 20 to 25 million active people on Facebook, right? This also gives us their frequency of activities, right? So this tells us what these type of people do on Facebook. 36% click ads. So that tells me, okay, this might be a good brand to be able to focus on with my efforts on marketing. They like a lot of content, and they like a lot of pages as well. So that tells me, that'll kind of help me tailor what I'm working on. This part is super important, because we work with some brands that have 80 to 90% just mobile traffic. So we'll just do ads on their phones. So Disney, mobile only is 54%. This used to be reversed. I mean, 6-7 years ago, it was about 70% desktop. Now it's about 70% mobile, just because everybody's on their phones. It's easy to bring up. And when you're home watching TV, what are you doing? When the TV is showing commercials, you're on your phone, right? So it makes sense, right? Most of them, 53% are iPhone, iPod, Android, and then 39% Android. So you can even just focus on just these two devices for your ads.
Sorry, question?
Yeah,
For
sure.
the contrast where you have the grace and against the blue, is it comparing one against the other?
This the background. This here.
Yeah.
That's just people on Facebook in general. So it's comparing it to in general, a normal person on Facebook would click 14 ads. Someone that likes Disney would click 36, which is pretty crucial. Let me pause this actually. Sorry, guys. All right, so we did that. Now let's look at household. So people that like the Disney brand, the household usually makes about 50 to 75K per year. 80% are homeowners. And then you can look at the household size and home market value. And the main reason I'm going through these guys is just to give you kind of a general idea of how you can target people, how detailed you can get, and how sometimes you can look at brands and actually go out of the box in your targeting because you're still getting those same people. So for example, with Disney, you might not be able to correlate Disney with someone making 50 to 75K, but you can to help you get more of a focused group in who you're trying to target. Let me go here. So this is another one that's pretty great. Purchase behavior, right? So food and drink is always number one because we all have to eat and drink, right? But Disney, people that enjoy Disney also enjoy subscription services, clothing, pet products, sports and outdoors, health and beauty, home and garden, all of these different items. And of course, minivan, right, is one of the top ones. It might not be the top one. Oh, there we go, mid-size car. So, you would think, okay, Disney, they all need minivans, right? But actually the top one is a mid-size car. And the percentage is the affinity towards that specific vehicle. So you can create a campaign saying, hey, I want to do a campaign that's focusing on millennial parents that are looking for a mid-sized vehicle, that are married, that have an Android or iPhone device.
How do they know our car from Facebook? Are they like seeing what sites you visit outside of it?
That
Cars?
and they have the data from Polk. So Polk is the biggest aggregator of automotive data. So anytime we buy a car, it automatically goes into Polk data. Facebook pays Polk to assimilate that data, and they match it up with your Facebook ID. So all of us individually have our own Facebook ID, which is essentially like our social security number on Facebook. And we're basically giving that to Facebook. Like, here you go, here's take all my data. And Zuckerberg is just chilling in his mansion. So another thing I wanted to show, so that's competitive pages, right? If you're looking at competitive pages and wanting to collect that data. Other things that you can do are using a custom audience. So,
Excuse me?
oh, yes.
Sorry, I wasn't here from the very
no
beginning.
worries.
That site works only for US?
No, it's worldwide.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can use it worldwide. Absolutely. And then, so another thing I wanted to show you guys was custom audience. So remember when we talked about the pixel, right? How you can collect all that data from individuals visiting your site. So we have a list that we created, general website visitors from the last 180 days. The data for the Facebook pixel lasts about 6 months. So after 6 months, it recycles. So you have about 6 months of data that you can use. With this is our financial literacy blog. It's called Black Wallet. So we're going to pull the data from general website visitors in the last 180 days. So demographics, as you can see, it's a financial literacy blog for millennials, right? So as you can see, we have an entirely millennial crowd, right? 25 to 34 women and men, 60 to 40%. So it's about even, right? Lifestyle. You can see that 35% are married, 35% are single, so it's pretty even. 100% college educated, right? So anytime we do an ad, we only go after students that are, people that are either in college or have graduated college, because that's our main demo, right? The pages that they like, these are some of the brands. Mint, which is a financial blog. Some of the brands that they like. This is also a financial literacy blog for urban millennials, so you can see that a lot of the brands align with who that targeting is. That's the best way to put it, right? Location, I guess we don't have enough data for that. We don't have maybe enough visitors, but we can also look at the pages they like and the devices they're using. So this just gives you guys an idea of just the type of details and things that you can look at when you're doing Facebook ads. All right. Do we want to look at any other brands before we go on to the next slide? Any other brands?
Sephora.
Sephora? Okay. That one I know. Let's go. Sephora. Okay. All right, there we go. So you can see that it's 70% women, 30% men. That's actually more than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I thought
me
it, yeah, you thought it would be more women, right? And then lifestyle.
I got a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
Why do you have two entries in the interest part on that side?
Oh, you're right. Yes, I need to take this one off. There we go.
And I think the
On the
other one,
bottom.
the Disney.
Oh, you're right. Yes, thank you.
That's probably the reason there's no.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Good catch. Good catch. See, look, you guys are learning already.
So before you uncheck those boxes, what was that we were looking?
We were looking at all three, all of them combined. Yes. So you can do multiple brands, you can do multiple interests, and you can also go and look at different behaviors, language, relationship status, education, work, financial, everything. Right. So if we wanted to look at, okay, what's the average of people that own their home from 25 to 34? We could pull that data here. So you can use this for any project that you're working on, and you can actually save these audiences for when you're working on your targeting. Yeah. So let me see. Let me go back here.
I have a question.
Yes.
On the demographics page,
Mhm.
even though it's only 3% men, why are there still at the, because I noticed that the blue blocks on the men's side are,
Mhm.
are still fairly large. Is there a reason that it's,
Yeah. So it's 3% men, but these are actually from that percentage.
okay.
So it's 26%. So that might be maybe 0.6, 0.7%, right? So it's from that smaller group.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Any other questions before we move on to the next thing? No? Okay. All right, so we did that. So we wanted to kind of give you a couple of case studies to understand the process, right? So this is a subscription box that we were helping. It's basically like a tactical gift box that we were going after. The client maybe had 100, 150 sales over the course of 3 or 4 months. So what we did was we took their list of everyone that purchased on the site. We uploaded that list to Facebook, right, which is a custom audience. Then we looked at that audience on Audience Insights and saw, okay, it's X amount male. These are the types of pages that they like. This is the content that they like. And then we created an audience, a lookalike audience, and we created a cool little video that was basically just showcasing the subscription box, right? And then we let it run. First week it did okay. Second week it's really started to take off, and we did 600 website purchases in about a month span. Another example is Black Wallet, the financial literacy blog that we launched. So we realized that everyone was on Instagram, and we just did video content, right? So we actually looked at competitors and emulated what they were doing in regards to the ads, used Audience Insights to create those personas, and then we just ran a video ad that said, hey, this is, I'm big into cryptocurrency, so we talked about cryptocurrency, what's going on in the space, and how you can get involved. And it was really just a push to the blog where you can read cryptocurrency content, about Bitcoin, Ethereum, the blockchain, and it's literally doing 0.0004 cents per click, and it's getting tons of views. We're getting about 30 to 50 signups for the subscriptions on the site. It's a free subscription, right, for just information on the industry, and it's doing really well. So we haven't monetized this yet. This is really just a passion project, but that's to give you guys another example. So I'm gonna go through final notes. Everything that I went over, you can download it at that link, and then I'm gonna open it up for Q&A. So any questions that you guys have regarding Audience Insights, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, web development, whatever you guys wanna know, I'm happy to spend 20 minutes or so kind of going over those items. So final notes, conduct research using Audience Insights to pinpoint your ideal buyer. If you guys are looking to get into Audience Insights, just go to facebook.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there should be a settings button. Hit Manage Ads or Create Ads, and then it'll provide you with a link to Audience Insights. Also, install and set up your Facebook Pixel to collect data. If you guys have a personal blog, if you have any website, I definitely recommend tonight go on there and set up the Facebook Pixel. If you're using WordPress or Squarespace or Wix, it's really easy to set up within minutes. And then run a small campaign, maybe a couple bucks a day, and see how it does, right? I mean, if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to walk you through the process.